Aria 2 review. Hey friends, Tim here, welcome back to another video on Giz Audio, and today we have the Aria 2. But did you know that this could also be called the Aria 3, because even before the previous Aria, there was already another Moondrop Aria. Fun fact for you. This is going to be a very quick review because there's really not much to say about Moondrop Aria 2 that has not already been said in any other Moondrop single DD tuned IEM review from pretty much anybody, because this thing is tuned very similar to, you know, that genre of tuning, similar to the Starfield, similar to the previous Aria, similar to the Kato, similar to the KXXS, though it does have some small differences that makes this one of the better ones out of the ones that I just mentioned. But before we get into that, let's jump quickly into the tuning for those of you who are very new to the hobby and never heard any other reviews of the other ones before. This thing is neutral, slightly bit warm, but overall a natural, easy, safe listen. The mid-range sound largely normal. Male vocals have a nice little heft to them. Female vocals don't sound way too husky. They don't sound way too energetic either. It's just a normal, good, and safe sounding mid-range. Not the cleanest. If you want even more clean, you go for a signature like the Project Red or Variation. The Nova, for example, all of those have a cleaner sounding lower mids. This thing goes for a more natural approach, more heft, more warmth, which a lot of people enjoy more than a very clean lower mids. Again, like I said, it's a very safe sounding IEM. The bass is also very modest on these kind of IEMs, the Aria 2 included. It's not super heavy, it's not in your face, it's well balanced with the rest of the mix. The treble area is where you're gonna find the most amount of deviations between all the DD models. Some models, like the previous Aria, have more treble than others. Some people think it's a little bit too piercing. Some people think it adds a little bit more detail and they like it. The Aria 2 tames down that treble a bit, makes it more natural sounding in the decay. I don't think it sacrificed much of the micro nuances either. I actually like the treble on the Aria 2 more than the original Aria. And while we're doing comparisons, I want to say that I actually like the Aria 2 tuning wise over the original Aria. Not only because the treble is smoother, but the balance between the upper mid-range and the bass is also more my preference. The Aria previous model leans a little bit too bassy for me, while the Aria 2 corrects that a little bit, making vocals pop more balanced out with the bass section, and I enjoy it much more. Also, with the tamer treble, everything just sounds more natural in general. In fact, it sounds so natural that I would compare this directly to the Kato, and I would say this is more of a mini Kato than an upgrade to the Aria original. Compared to the Kato, the Aria 2 has slightly bit more bass, and that's pretty much it. If you want more vocal forwardness, you would go for the Kato. If you want more bass, you would go for the Aria 2. When it comes to details and technical performance, let's just bring up my scale right here. This thing lands just right around the Aria, maybe slightly bit above the Aria, and that's where the Kato lands as well. It's a mini Kato. It's a more balanced Kato. For those of you who ever thought the Kato was a little bit too lean in the bass, you want Kato to have more of that bass power, the Aria 2 is basically that. What does this mean now for Moondrop Kato then? Is Kato now just completely irrelevant? I would say mostly yeah. Just like the rest of the Moondrop single DD that came before it, like the KXXS, gone now. The Starfield replaced with Aria, and the Kato is now pretty much replaced with the Aria 2. The only reason to get the Kato is if you want that extra mid-range forwardness, but that's all you're gonna get. It's not worth double the price of Aria 2, so just get Aria 2. In terms of build quality, I guess, to add more time to this video, it's great, and I actually like this build more than the original Aria. I don't think the paint on this will have the same issue as on the original Aria. For those of you who own the Aria, you guys know what I'm talking about. And I also like this filter change system as well. It's very easy to remove the filter, replace the filter, so that's a bonus. Also, almost forgot, the cable is so much better than the original Aria. All right, that's it for review of the Aria 2. I would give this IEM a halfway green thumbs up. I was juggling between a yellow and a halfway green, but I'll give it a halfway green because it does replace something more expensive and it's a direct replacement as well. So for those of you who've been wanting a Kato for a long time, get the Aria 2. You're basically getting 90% of the Kato, if not like 95% of the Kato. The reason I'm not giving it a full green thumbs up simply because there's so many competition now at this price range. You have Project Red or Truthears X Critical Zero Red at $50 that I think is tuned better than this. You also have the Truthear Hexa that some people think is better tuned than the Aria. I prefer the Aria 2 over the Hexa because I think the Hexa is a little bit too boring. But yeah, many competition at this price point, and this kind of tuning and this level of tech doesn't really stand out too much anymore in this price bracket. So yeah, halfway green thumbs up I think is appropriate, and there you go. I'll see you guys in the next review, I guess. Peace out. Bye. I guess I should compare it to the Hexa now that I think about it. It's around the same price bracket. Okay, so quick comparison. Aria 2 versus the Hexa. The Aria 2 has more prominent bass response, so it's not gonna sound as limped as on the Hexa. And also the vocals on Aria 2 is more pronounced as well, more forward. The Hexa leans on being a more open type of signature, where the Hexa wins absolutely is in the treble. The Hexa has smoother sounding treble overall and better nuances there. That also helps the Hexa to sound more technical, more wide open than on the Aria 2 as well, at the cost though of being more boring sounding than the Aria 2. So there you go, Hexa, more technical, more referencey kind of tuning. Aria 2, more fun tuning, slightly bit less technical. Peace.